gentlemen, at this time, if I could have your attention once again, we're going to begin so that we can get done in the next hour and a half. I want to start by saying, I joked a lot with my mom earlier about the fact that she was 88, but my mother labored over making 7 cakes. She met me halfway here from where I live in New Braunfels because all of the decorations for this place would not fit in my car, and we had to make several trips. And so, Mom, I want to give you this bouquet. And there's one more person that I want to give a bouquet to, and that is Mrs. K. Reinke, because when Mr. Reinke, in the final year or two of his days as band director, became so sore with his back, and I hope you'll forgive me for saying that, Mr. Reinke, and not hit me later. I know it was Kay Reinke who took John Reinke and laid him in the back of her car, and she drove him to those football games because he could no longer ride the Yellow Canaries. So Kay, this is for you. Now that I have gotten composed again, I would like to welcome back to the podium Miss Missy Strico.
I get to do something today that I was really excited about when Keith asked me to do this. From 1976 to 1981, Robert Littlefield was my band director. And he was fresh out of college. And when I was in 6th grade, because I was a child prodigy, he did a lot with us. I'll tell you what, we were a bunch of bratty kids. We were not fun to be around. And Mr. Littlefield, he got us together, and he made us play music that we didn't know we could play. And he taught us about the music. And, when I look back on it, he really impacted my life a lot. And I am very proud to present Mr. Littlefield with this award. For being a band director at Black Cat Band from 1976 to 1981. Mr. Littlefield, thank you. Thank you so much.
Gary Leaps signed on as the assistant director to that famous Black Cat Band in the fall of 1983. It was a very exciting year for the Black Cats because that was the year that our band took the football team to state. And with our help, they won. But that meant a very long marching season for us. And, I don't have a lot of memories of Mr. Leaps because he was there for only that one year. But all of my recollections of Mr. Leaps, as I tried to think of what I would say, pointed to one thing. And that was one common denominator. Mr. Leaps was one of the nicest men that was ever a teacher. And I don't know if Robbie, his son, would agree with me or not on this, but I never heard him raise his voice once in the year that... Has he ever raised his voice, Robbie? Never mind. I actually have that. Look, Robbie, his son, may have different... But I have messed him up all night. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Leaps. You are still one of the nicest men. In spite of the fact that you don't have a son, Robbie. But I do know this about Mr. Leeds. Mr. Leeds left the Black Cat Band in the spring and took a job at Wharton County Junior College, where he began a band there. And it was a phenomenal band. And I remember the first time they came down the road in the Rice Festival Parade in the fall, I guess it was of 1983 or 84. And now, Mr. Leeds, I think you teach at... Dean. Yeah, he's a dean now. He is excelled way up there. Now, he's not Dean Forstman. His title is Dean. And in just a moment, I'll call you up, Mr. Leeds. I want to read this. It says, presented to Mr. Gary Leeds for your unfaltering assistance in leading that famous Black Cat Band, 1983 to 1984. We honor you. We appreciate you. Presented by all of your students, June 18th, 2010. If you'll come forward.
There's a name that you can say when you're talking about the Black Cat Band, and everybody that knows anything about the Black Cat Band will go, oh yeah, I know. That name's Quintanilla. I don't know, how many Quintanillas were there in band altogether? 8? 500. They weren't a band. They made a band. They could have been their own band. But I know that I didn't personally know Mr. Quintanilla as a band director, but I know people who did. And from 1975 to 1978, he assisted in helping that famous Black Cat Band. And we'd like for him to come up now, please, and present this award to us.
1962 to 1984. You were directed for one quintanilla. It was your second year teaching. 6th grade, teeny homes, in the cafeteria. And the only way to make the band at the middle school was to play 29 lines out of the book. And I could only play 25. He let me in.
This says, presented to Mr. Robert Quintanilla for your unfaltering assistance in leading that famous Black Hat Band 1975 through 1978. We honor you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Presented by all of your students, June 18th, 2010.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say, Keith. Keith wants me to entertain you for a few minutes. I can talk about, I don't know, the antics of my children. What?
What you come up with this week?
I don't know what you want me to come up with. I can talk about what we did today.
Except for I can't cuss.
I'm hoping that this works out right. It's something that I've put together. I'm going to ask at this time, well, no, I'm not. I'm going to ask in just a minute. Are you still back there, Mr. Huerta? I'm going to ask you in a minute if you'll get all the lights, but wait a second. Many of you served in Bob Curtis's McAllister Middle School Band. But long before we ever were in Mr. Curtis's band, we knew Mr. Curtis as the voice of the Black Cat Band. And I remember I was in the 5th grade, and my mom and dad took me. And my best friend was Kim Mullen, and we sat down on the 50-yard line. And we heard over the loudspeakers, ladies and gentlemen, here comes that famous Black Cat Band. And I turned.
Go slow.
Go slow. I turned to my friend Kim Mullen and I said, one day, I'm going to be one of those people out in front wearing white for that group of people. And she said, no, you ain't. And I said, yes, I am. And she was dancing one time as a Aristocat and cracked her ankle. And I want to say, I never cracked anything. Mr. Curtis, I put something together for you. I'm hoping that it works out, and I hope that it brings back some memories for you. It's very short, but I think you'll enjoy it. Mr. Curtis, you were more than a voice. You caused us to be loved for 15 years. We thank you, we appreciate you, and we love you. Thank you for being patient with us. We're trying to operate a lot of things up here. She says she's trying to stand up in her shoes. Andy, can you get these end lights for us? I'm 43 now. And I can't see what's written here. Thank you. Let me turn the music down and I'll answer your question. That's going to be part of Mr. Reinke's speech later. We've already covered that, see? Did you hear that, Mr. Reinke? Okay, if you would give to me Mr. Curtis's award. Go get it? Oh! Well, we want to read it. I'm presenting it. There's some Indians here. Presented to Bob Curtis, Mr. Bob Curtis, for your unfaltering assistance in leading and serving as the voice of that famous Black Hat Band, 1975 to 1990. We honor you. We appreciate you. Presented by all of your students, June 18th, Tennessee.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a blast.
Our next award, I have to get set up. I'll talk about it as I'm setting it up, because I think you'll enjoy what I'm going to say. I'm not supposed to tell you this, by the way. It's supposed to be private. I'm never supposed to mention this in live. Forgive me, Mr. Reinke, for what I'm about to say, but it's an interesting story, though. In the fall of 1990, I found out that Mr. Reinke had retired, and I didn't know that he was retiring. And I was, one morning, you can call it what you want. Yeah, this is part of Mr. Popham, Mr. Reinke. You know, Mr. Reinke never loses that authority. I swear to you, when I saw him coming up, I was terrified. It reminds me of one day at a pep rally when he thought I was about to approach the cheerleaders and say something. And he came up, he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm not going to say anything to him." But in the fall of 1990, one morning I woke up and I was very concerned because in my mind I kept hearing the words, the drills, the drills, the drills. Isn't that strange? And so I called down to the band hall, and it was in August, early September of 1990. And I found out that all the videotapes that Mr. Popham had made from 1982 to 1989 as he served as the assistant director had been put in a box, and they were on their way to the county dump. Yeah, that was my thoughts too. And so I spoke to the assistant band director there, and I said, "Please don't do that. I'll pay any amount of money for those drills." I said, I even told him, I said, "I'll give you $5,000 for those drills." And he said, "Well, I have to ask." And he asked, and the person in charge said, "No, you can't have them." And I said, "Make it $10,000. And he went and he asked, and the band director said, "No, you can't have them." And I said, "Well, will you do this for me? If I get in my car today and I drive to Bay City, will you let me have the drills 1982 through 1985 while I was drum major, or when I was a band student and then drum major?" And I was told I could have them for 24 hours on the stipulation that I return them so that they could be thrown away. And I went and I got them, and I copied them, and that's why we're here tonight. Listen, Mr. Reinke taught me a lot of things, and one of the things he taught me is that sometimes you have to do what's right, even when it's not popular, and I didn't think that was right. And one of the things I found out, and this is where Mr. Popham comes in, when I was duplicating those drills, my mother and father and I were so excited. We came in, and I'm running them from VCR to VCR, and this was back in 1990, and I learned something. Mr. Popham is funny. Who knew? I didn't know Mr. Popham that well. And so he was so funny, and I started watching these drills, and I put together a thing called Behind the Scenes with that famous Black Hat Band. It's on Facebook. You should go look at it. And I picked the best of it, and I'm going to show it to you before we present Mr. Popham's award to him. But I want to say there were two things in this that just stand out to me, and I don't know if you'll understand it. And if you will, I'm going to ask Donna Ramirez and Sylvester Boughton if they would stand, because they're one of the funny things in this. So if you will stand up, drum major, 1980, fall of 1983. One of the things Mr. Popham was filming, and he said, "John, I don't see him. Where is he?" And Mr. Reinke, you can hear him lean over, and he said, "He's standing behind her. He's behind her. See, there's his hat. See, he's behind." And then Mr. Popham says, "Oh." And then there's the drill where Kim Mullen is dancing in the Aristocats, and she falls and cracks her ankle as she's dancing to Operator. And Mr. Popham says, "What on earth is that girl doing?" And then you hear Mr. Reinke say, "How are they going to get her off the field?" And Mr. Popham says, "Lord, if I know." He called these things, it was with him and Mr. Parsons, and they called it P&P Productions. It's with great pride that I present my rendition of P&P Productions.
Did you ever see a director so talented and do that with a band?
This has been a P&P production. This has been another P&P production.
Stay right there.
This has been a P&P. This has been another P&P production from Wharton Tiger Stadium. I want to go get vaccinated now. P&P Productions presents Backstage with the Black Cats, an exciting look at the things behind the scenes that make the Black Cat Band run. Our first look is at the dressing rooms. Here we have the mighty senior dressing room. Notice the lovely decor, lovely mirror. Let's move on here down the hall. Here we have the snack bar, better known as the junior dressing room. See the lovely carpet. Here's another example of modern art. Quite unique. Here is a real winner right here. Hardly a place for the cockroaches to stand. Next we find our way to the band hall. I get your last one. There you go.
Drum music. The things a band director won't do for the love of his children. Mr. Popham. Oh, JP, come here a minute, will you? Phone home.
This is a P&P production. Presenting a P&P production.
I'm going to try to read this just like it'll be read tomorrow at 10 o'clock in Austin. The next band, Conference 4A, is Bay City High School Band from Bay City, Texas. Drum majors are Julie Davis and Melissa Munez. The Bay City High School Band's program includes March of the Siamese Children, Chopsticks, Sukiyaki, Variation on the Korean folk song, Shanghai Breezes, and Chinatown. Are the judges ready? You may begin your performance with the Lake Line Marching Band Concert. Operation
to you because you put up with them so many times over the years. Undoubtedly, you get them. I just like to say, you some real nerds.
Swish your tail. Move your tail. I know, but I only see one.
He's right behind you. Yeah. See him both these.
Okay. What's that girl doing? How are they going to get around the field? I don't know, man. Just come off this way. Oh, wow.
There they are, that famous Black Cat Band. We love you, each and every one. And there you have it, folks, the seniors of the band, the seniors of the band. How lucky we are.
Introducing the Black Cat Twirlers, Sylvester Bowden and Ana Ramirez.
I want to give a little bit of Popham trivia. How many people know what Mr. Popham did to put himself through college?
Oh, we can't talk about it.
Are we not supposed to talk about that? He taught ballroom dance lessons. At least that's what he told me. And I learned how to dance in the dance hall, in the band hall. I learned how to dance in the band hall, and that put me through college because I was a dime dancer. No, I'm just kidding. But we had a lot of good times. And Mr. Popham, you weren't just a teacher; you were a friend. I mean, you were fresh out of college, and we loved you. We had such a great time with you. So, Keith, are you ready?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to keep talking. And I'm trying to think of some of the, oh gosh. Between him and Mr. Parsons, I don't think we ever stopped laughing. I mean, that was part of, and this was something I didn't get a chance to talk about because I probably lost it in my notes. You know, as hard work as it was so much fun. We had, I don't know about y'all, I had so much fun. And these band directors had so much to do with that. I mean, they were young and funny, and they kept us going even when we didn't want to go anymore, and when we didn't think we had any more to give, they pushed us harder and we went further, and we laughed about it. I mean, because it was just a blessing. It was things like this, the stuff that you see behind the scenes that just made it all worthwhile. And I mean, I know that's why, you know, I hung around the band hall besides being a big geek, but that's why I hung around the band hall so much, because it was fun. Okay. And so, Mr. Popham, we'd like to present you with your award. If you could come forward, please. Jim Popham, for your all-three role as assistant director of that famous Black Cat Band from 1981 to 1989. We honor you. We appreciate you. Presented by all your students.
Wow. The next part of this program is interesting. Missy talked about all the hours that it took. The next part that you're going to see took me a little over 100 hours to do. I was thinking, how do you describe the Black Cat Band? And why in the world would a group of young people call themselves famous? Because we were, is my next line. They're right. You know, the reason is we were a showman's band, and that showman was John Reinke. And I would never do anything to embarrass Mr. Reinke, and I know he gets embarrassed when we start bragging on him, but I'm going to brag on him anyway for just a minute, and then I'm going to stop. John Reinke, I'm in his bell choir now at the Presbyterian Church of New Braunfels, and he's a man who had vision and who has vision. He's a dreamer, and he makes his dreams a reality. And when you start rifling through 15 years of contest drills, splicing, dicing, inserting transitions, normalizing audio, normalizing video, and duplicating, you know that what I say is true. So Mr. Reinke, I don't know how to communicate to you, thank you, because the words don't do it. I thought about how you were on the field with us, as were the other band directors in the summer when it was 100 degrees outside. We were there from 9 to 11 a.m., then 2 to 4 p.m., and then in the band hall at night from 7 to 9 p.m. for summer practices. And then once school started, as Missy mentioned earlier, 7:15 to 9:15, before Ross Perot, when it became 7:30, a.m. Monday through Friday, and Monday, Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. evening practice. And Mr. Reinke, I can say I was part of the Black Cat Band when we marched into a stadium for contest. And groups, hundreds and sometimes thousands of students stood to their feet from our rival schools, El Campo, and you know that was a rival school, El Campo, all around Bay City, Texas, and they cheered for us before we began our presentation because they anticipated our show. You understand, folks? We were good. Mr. Reinke made us good. 25 minutes for 15 years is not enough to say thank you, Mr. Reinke. But I have taken the liberty of taking 25 minutes from contest drills for the 15 years that John Reinke was director of that famous Black Cat Band. And it's with great pride that I now present to you the sights and sounds that made a high school band famous.
flower or a tree. But you can find true magic. Here is how you start. Look for love, you'll find the magic in your heart.